As a child, I would run across the sand and scramble into the boat. In the late afternoon, as the sun was getting low in the sky, me and my dad would go out to the ocean with this traditional wooden boat called jukung. Fishing was a time for my father to teach me about skills being out in the ocean and learning how to catch and process a fish. We caught so many fish, and it was pretty big. And I had some of the most memorable moments of my life. But it wasn't just fishing. The bond we shared together in the boat, with the cool night air and the ocean stretching out before us, felt like a quiet connection between me and my dad. I felt a mix, anxious, and excitement as I cast my line into the water and hoping for a catch. When I lost a fish or I didn't catch any, the disappointment would weigh me down. But the thrill of being there with my dad always pulled me back. Watching him skillfully fishing and helping him take the call from the fish filled me sense of teamwork and quite a joy that only those moments could bring. The next morning, we'd go back to the same beach with my whole family. My mom, my dad, my grandma, and my grandpa. And we had so much fun sitting underneath the coconut trees and enjoying the fresh coconut that we got straight from the trees and reveling in the green grass and the peaceful atmosphere. This is memory from Little Bintang. And this is the beach that I remember. But today, the beach of my childhood does not look the same. This place is no longer safe, no longer beautiful, and no longer a fun place to go. And this is Pabuahan, a small beachside village that been hit hard by the coastal abrasion. For those who don't know, abrasion is a process where wave, current, and wind gradually wear down the shoreline. And it happens when materials like sand, rocks, and even building are moved and eroded by the water, and slowly reshaping the beach and leading to the loss of land. And over time, some families lost their houses. Warung and small businesses got destroyed, leaving the community member with no jobs to make money. So about 2 years ago, when I was in grade 10, I started a small project in West Bali, Negara, a place that is really close to my heart, and that is my hometown. It began with a question: if no one takes action on this, the whole village might disappear. So I started to reach out to a community organization in West Bali called Bali Darling Earth Generation, which focuses on environmental and action. So what was the right action to combat this problem? This can be complex, expensive, and scientific. So I started looking back to look forward. What were the natural protections that held the tide against this abrasion? And who can I ask to give their opinion to guide me on solution? The team at Bali Darling Earth Generation within key people, their community, and health expertise, as well as deep connection of understanding of the land and the place. And I observed early on that mangroves are incredibly important for protecting the coastline from abrasion because there's a special root system called breathing roots or aerial roots. And prop roots anchor the soil and reduce the wave impact. This dense roots network slow down the water movement and traps the sediment, which help prevent from abrasion. And as wave hits the coastline, their roots absorb the energy and protect the line behind them. And over time, they even help to rebuild the coastline. Not only that, but mangroves are also vital for the biodiversity. They provide shelter and breeding ground for fish, shrimp, crabs, and many birds and insects. Plus, mangroves store large amount of carbon because their waterlogged soil prevent decomposition that makes them important in the fight against the climate change. So I pitched this project to Green School Foundation, BWT, and Aquaprol for funding. And I managed to get 10 million rupiah to get started. And after that, me and my friend started planting this mangrove with the help of Bali Darling Earth Generation. And during that time, we managed to plant 1,000 mangrove. I know it seems a lot to you guys, but honestly, there was still a huge area that needed to be covered. So I went back to this village, and sadly, the abrasion had gotten even worse. Houses were missing. A lot of families have to move out because this village is no longer safe. Roads are gone. The access to this village is very hard. And the soccer field and the volleyball court that the kids used to play were washed away. Now kids have no longer a place to play. And the restaurant where my family used to eat were destroyed. There's no more nice, warm place to hang out with your family. Enough is enough. What was once a vibrant, welcoming village full of life and memories had become a fading shoreline. But there was one thing that is still standing, and that is the mangrove that I planted 2 years ago. That moment made me realize how serious this issue had become. And I knew I needed to dig deeper. So I started talking to one of my dad's friends that is a local fisherman from that village. And he told me that the main cause was that a harbor that the government built 10 years ago, about 1 kilometer from this village. When they built it, they buried part of the sea, which blocked the natural flow of the current and the wave. As a result, instead of flowing towards the harbor, it's hitting Pabuahan village directly. That is when the abrasion began. And he said that every abrasion is taking away 3 to 4 meters of the land. To give you a visual, imagine that every month, the land from where I'm standing right here to the entrance right there is disappear. And this has been going for 10 years now, meaning about 480 meters of the land have already been vanished, which is like the distance from parking lot A to all the way parking lot C. By the end of grade 11, when it was time to choose our Greenstone project, I knew I had to continue this work. I had time to do deeper research, expand the project, and scale it into something more impactful and long-lasting for the community in Pabuahan. Being a change maker means nothing without action. So that's when I had the idea to organize a service trip to West Bali. And I'm doing this not because the school asked me to, but because I want to make a real difference, and I know I can. We also had to raise money, and this part is probably one of the funnest part in this project, because I'm combining two things that I'm passionate about, which are art and sustainability. And the fundraising that I did was creating an art exhibition with Nate, another student from grade 12 also, and we held our exhibition in Baja Delhi and Osham Nuanu. Our exhibition is called Salam Semesta, and we're collaborating with 15 other artists all across the island, and all the money that I got from selling my artwork will goes back to my project to buy more mangrove seeds. Not just that, I also created some merch, and I named them Son of Nature. And you can actually get it later outside if you guys want. I also got a lot of support from the Green School community, like the parents, students, and teachers. I remember one time while planning the trip, I had to deliver a permit letter to West Bali, to the stakeholder there. So together, me, Pak Made Gusta, and Pak Gongwa, we drove 4 hours to West Bali. We just stayed there for 30 minutes. We handed out the letter. Then we drove another 4 hours back to here. And we did that 3 times. It was super exhausting, but it was all worth it. So planting mangrove on its own is an impactful action. But what's the point of doing something without truly realizing why we're doing it? And how can we continue creating this more impactful action? Through this realization, I understood that education is an important first step. So in this service trip, I collaborated with the local school in West Bali. And the school that I'm collaborating with are SD2 Banyu Biru, that's the elementary school, and the two other high school is SMA 1 Melaya and SMA 3 Negara. And of course, the Green School student that participate in my first service trip. Special thanks to Green School Foundation for connecting me with all these local schools and has been supporting this project since day one. This service trip was honestly one of the best and most memorable experience. Because during the 5 days we spent in West Bali, we had an incredible time balancing meaningful service with a lot of fun and unforgettable moment. And while we were there, our main goal was to give back as much as we could, especially through the environmental and education action. And one of the highlights was probably visiting the local school, where we taught students about the coastal abrasion and the vital role mangrove play in protecting the shoreline. And since many of them live near the coast, we thought that it's important that they understood this issue and how they could help support their village in the future. To make the learning process more even fun and engaging, we played a lot of games centered around the mangroves and even handed out prizes to keep the energy high also. The next day, the day that I've been waiting since grade 8, probably one of the days that I'll be remember my whole life. We invited all the students for the mangrove planting event. Even though the sun was blasting that day, but nothing could stop us. With about 60 people working together, and we start planting at 8 a.m. and continued until 3 p.m. And by the end of the day, we successfully planted 5,000 mangrove. Here's some of the picture also. Super fun. I can talk about the service trip journey for hours because it was that fun. But instead, I'm going to show you guys a quick video.
Ya, jalan hilang, rumah hilang, semuanya sudah hilang itu. Terkena dampak abrasi. Perkenalkan, nama saya Pak Sukyono, asal dari Banyu Biru, Desa Tobuah. Kita tuh hitungannya rumah habis, semuanya habis, kita awal dari nol lagi. Setelah ini yang kita kumpulkan sedikit demi sedikit habis sudah. Kalau keadaan pebuahan dari 2010 sampai sekarang jauh beda sekali. Dulunya tuh asri, sekarang Mas lihat sendiri keadaannya gimana gitu.
So about a year ago, I started this small project. Basically, I'm planting mangrove in this area. So 2 years ago, I planted around 1,000 mangrove. And now I'm back again here with a Green School student to organize a service trip to give back to the community and learn more about the mangrove. My name is Bintang and I'm a Green School student. And right now I'm in grade 12, about to graduate. And I'm from West Bali here, and especially in Negara. During this service trip, this is probably one of the most memorable moments of my life because I've been wanting to do this mangrove planting event since I was in grade 8. During that day, we also start doing a trash walk along the beach in here, especially the plastic cup. We donate them, all the plastic cup, to the local community in this village in Pebuahan, because they're actually selling those plastic cups, and so they can get some income a little bit from that. And the second day, we went to visit to this local elementary school, SD2 Banyu Biru. So over there, we taught them a little bit about what is mangrove, what does mangrove do for the coastline, stuff like that. And we give also a lot of prizes to them to let them know that mangrove is actually important for their village. Day 3, we visited 2 local high schools, SMA 3 Negara and SMA 2 Melaya. So over there, we also taught them a lot about mangrove and also games and just like to sharing information about this mangrove, because the next day, we're going to invite them for the mangrove planting event. And for the last day, day 4, finally, the mangrove planting event. First, my goal was to be able to plant 10,000 mangroves. I only managed to get 5,000 because of the amount of the money that I got from selling my artwork and also some from donation. So in total, we have, I think, around 60 to 70 people that participate in this mangrove planting event. So organizing it and with that much people is not easy. Everyone was already so tired, we finally managed to plant all of that mangrove.
Kalau penanaman bako itu saya sangat dukung sekali tuh. Saya sangat dukung sekali tuh. Dulunya kan memang bako di sini tuh memang hutan bako, Pak. Sekarang sudah ada tambak. Itu berapa puluh hektar yang ditebang.
One thing that I'm hoping that to happen is that these villages be more aware that how mangrove is really important for them, even though it's taking like 5 to 10 years to mangrove to function, but when they start to function, the roots is like really strong and they can help for like many years.
Ya kalau harapan kita dari masyarakat ini cuman itu udah melanjutkan bantuan itu dan pembinaan itu untuk saudara-saudara kita yang lain.
And hopefully the silver strip again will be up again next year, and someone from a Green School student will continue the silver strip. The school that I'm collaborating with sees this as a really positive initiative, not just for themselves, but for the wider community. And they expressed their genuine excitement about the collaboration and said they would happily to do it again. In fact, they even mentioned that the possibility of making the mangrove planting program as a regular activity for them, perhaps once every 6 months. And hearing that made me incredibly happy. It felt like all the hard work I've been putting has truly paid off. And more importantly, I realized that this project is much bigger than me. This is key to it being maintained, sustained, and enriched over time. My work is far from done, and there's still one major challenge. And it's the same one I've been faced since the beginning of this project. And that is getting the entire local community to participate, not just the school, and helping them to understand how important mangrove are for their village in the future. This is probably the biggest challenge. Changing people's mindset, not only about mangrove as a natural barrier, but about regeneration as a way of life. Restoring what's been damaged, nurturing what we still have, and leaving things for the better future generation. This isn't a quick fix. It's not easy, and it takes time, passion, and persistence. That's not my next goal. To shift the mindset of the people in this village in West Bali, in Pabuahan. It takes consistency, empathy, education, trust building, and continued presence. It's about walking alongside the community, not just teaching them about the conservation, but practicing it together and in ways that reconnect the people to the land, sea, and each other. You can't just show up once and expect people to fully understand. It's not easy, but I believe in the power of persistence, relationship, and hope. I know we can do it together. Little Bintang, out on the ocean in the Jukung with his dad, is now Big Bintang. Standing at the edge of graduation, I am Balinese. My heart beats the rhythm of Bali. My soul belongs here, in the earth, the trees, and the ocean. My future is Bali. I will stay here, study here, and continue with my project in West Bali, because the tide of change is rising, and there is work to do. And last but not least, I would like to say thank you to all of you that helped me throughout my project. Ibu Kate, Ibu Putri, Pak Made Gusta, Pak Gongwa, Service Trip Team and Teacher, Pak Benjamin, Ibu Penny, Green School Foundation, the school in West Bali, my family, Samsara Studio, Asham Nuanu, Bajadeli, and all the Green School community. Thank you. Suksema and terima kasih. Okay. Thank you, okay.